When I graduated college, I had a six-figure job waiting for me. So in this video, I'm going to share exactly how I did that and hopefully help you do the exact same thing. So let's dive right into it. Step one, go to college. Look, there are people on the internet that will tell you that college is a scam and that you don't need to go to college to earn a lot of money. But if you want a good shot at earning $100,000 a year, then I highly recommend that you go to college. There are, of course, exceptions to this. Everyone loves to hear about college dropouts that became mega successful, or about teenagers running their own business. But those are exceptions to the rule. A college degree will make it much more likely that you earn a great starting salary. And maybe even more importantly, it will set you up for an even more successful career. So I highly recommend that you go to college. But going to college is just the first step. Once you're there, you need to do step two. Pick your major. If you want to earn $100,000 a year as soon as you leave college, you're going to have to pick the right major. Personally, I got a major in computer science and another major in business management, where I did a focus on finance. Both of those majors are pretty good options for high starting salaries, but there might be even better options. If you Google which majors have the highest starting pay, you'll often see chemical engineering near the top. Aerospace, computer, and electrical engineering are always pretty high too. Just about every single major in STEM will give you a pretty good shot of earning a high salary when you graduate. For me, I ended up prioritizing my computer science degree, which is how I landed a job as a data analyst. Step 3. Work hard in class. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is thinking that your GPA doesn't matter. I've been absolutely shocked at how many people think that the only thing that matters is having a college degree. But a college degree promises you nothing. College is a place that you can learn skills that an employer values. But having a college degree is not proof that you learned anything. I saw so many of my classmates do the bare minimum to get a degree without learning any real skills. So if a company sees that you didn't work hard in college, they might assume that you won't work hard when they hire you. When you give your resume to your future employer, you want it to be proof that you can excel. Now, some people will say to just not put your GPA on your resume, but I think this is stupid for two reasons. One, if someone has a good GPA, they're probably going to want to show it off. So if I'm looking at a resume that doesn't list a GPA, I might assume the worst. Second, if you've ever applied for a job, you know that a lot of applications specifically request a GPA, whether it's on your resume or not. So there's no getting around this. You need to use your college experience as proof that you're ready to be a productive worker, and you should take every opportunity to support this. So a huge reason that I landed a six-figure job out of college is that I worked my butt off in my classes and I had a 4.0 GPA. But by far the best way to prove to a company that you'll be a great hire is to do it with real-world experience. And that's why you need to do step 4, internships. Having an internship is incredibly powerful, and when I was in college, I had 2 of them. And my second internship led directly to the six-figure job I had when I graduated. Internships are the closest thing you're going to get to real-world experience, and this is really important for 2 reasons. One, there are some things that you just aren't going to learn in the classroom. Working with a team on real-world problems is a completely different experience than doing homework assignments that your teacher has to grade. So an internship shows some real-world experience, which means you're much more likely to be effective as soon as you're hired. Second, an internship is your chance to prove that you'll be valuable. Companies actually don't usually care what work an intern does. For the most part, companies actually lose a lot of money on every intern they hire. But that's worth it because the company gets to see whether the intern would be a good fit. And that means the full-time hire decision has a lot less risk for the company. So as long as you work hard at your internship, there's an extremely high chance that you'll be hired full-time by the company. This is by far the most effective pipeline into a full-time position. In fact, my company relies on our intern program for almost every early career hire. We typically don't hire anyone with less than 5 years of work experience unless they were an intern first. So internships are really important if you want to get a good job out of college. But unfortunately, even getting an internship can be extremely difficult. When I was in college, I applied to over 100 internships. And I don't just mean that I scrolled through Indeed and clicked apply on 100 internships. I tailored my resume to every single one of those positions. If you don't put in that work, then it is way less likely that a recruiter will ever notice your resume. Your resume needs to say why you're a great fit for that specific position, not just any position. The problem is, applying to 100 internships can be insanely time consuming. And that's why I use JobScan, who is actually now one of this channel's partners, for almost every single one of those applications. Basically, JobScan helps you tailor your application by scanning your resume and the job application for important keywords, and it can then give you a lot of helpful tips to increase your chances of standing out. I was lucky enough that my college career center offered JobScan for free, and I cannot imagine applying to as many internships and jobs as I did without using it. And this video is not sponsored. They are not paying me to say any of this. But I did reach out and they let me put an affiliate link in the description. I may be compensated if you make a purchase using that link or my QR code. But you can also test out JobScan for literally $0. You're welcome. Step 5. But what if you can't get an internship? Look, internships are the best way to land a great job. But you might not be able to land one, especially if you're not that close to graduating. So what should you do? That's what I had to decide after my freshman year of college because I didn't have an internship lined up. But I didn't want to totally waste the summer. One thing I recommend is getting to know professors and seeing if they have any research that you can support. This usually doesn't pay that well, but it is career related and you might be able to do it part-time. You could also use this time to just work whatever job you can find, even if that job isn't related to your dream career. I'm all about saving money early, so I always encourage this hustle. Now, I didn't have a steady job lined up either, but I did a lot of painting and mowing and helped coach a local track team to earn a few extra dollars. But my main priority that summer was to learn as much as possible. That summer, I must have taken over a dozen short online courses to learn everything I could about the career that I wanted. For me, this was cybersecurity. I took classes in Python scripting, Wi-Fi hacking, web browser vulnerabilities, and anything else I could find. Step 6. Land your dream job. So ideally, by the time you graduate, you'll already have your dream job lined up. For me, I worked extremely hard in my internship after my junior year of college, so that fall, they offered me a full-time position. But if you don't have a job lined up, or you just don't want to work for the company that you interned for, here's a few pieces of advice. First, apply to jobs early. A huge mistake people make is waiting until spring to start looking for a job. But a lot of the best companies post their job openings in the summer or fall, and you do not want to miss out on all of these opportunities. Second, remember to tailor your resume. I know I already talked about this, but it is so important that your application is for that specific position. Third, get help from people. I worked super closely with my college career center, and it was a huge help. I felt so much more prepared and confident about applying to jobs, interviewing well, and negotiating. Trying to start your career can be really scary and even overwhelming, but there are people that will help you through the process as long as you ask. And one of the most valuable things that I was ever told is when the director of the Career Center told me that getting your first job is always the hardest. Once you have your foot in the door, you're going to pick up so many valuable skills, and plus, you're going to build your network. So, as hard as it might seem to get your first job out of college, remember that your first job is definitely not going to be the last job that you ever work, and it only gets easier from here. So that was how I landed a six-figure job. I went to college, I picked an in-demand major, I worked extremely hard in my classes, and I built up real-world experience through internships and self-study. But once I actually got my job, I realized that it was completely different from what college prepared me for. I recently made a video about the 5 biggest differences between college and career, which I'll link right here. You definitely need to check that video out next, and I'll see you next time.